I was incredibly thrilled when I was asked a couple of years ago to submit a design for the new Metro North station at Yankee Stadium. And I went to visit the stadium to see the space and to see where this piece was going to be. They were building a new bridge, so at the time I could just see the old bridge, which some guy was knocking down. He was very, very depressed about the whole thing. He was saying, the old station, its history, it's, the stadium's going, and whatever we build, they'll just vandalize anyway. So it was a slightly sad visit. And then looking around, at that time they were they were in the process of building the new stadium. I was really struck by what a harsh urban landscape the new and old Yankee stadiums existed in. It was really, there was very little greenery, and I understand why there'd been some public outcry over the loss of parkland for the new station, even though obviously in years to come they were going to get more parkland back. And I thought, well, whatever you propose for this site, Ellen, it's got to be something that brings a sense of calm into this site, because it's such a intense urban environment. I thought about making a forest, I thought about making a garden. But then the thing that really struck me was seeing everywhere this slogan for Yankee Stadium, which said, "The home of the stars." And I thought, God, that's not really true, is it? I mean, the stars don't just belong to Yankee Stadium, after all. I mean, the stars belong to all of us, please. We can have the stars too. So I thought, well, it would be fun to sort of playfully allude to that and to use the stars as a little movie. So when you come to the station, you arrive, and the first panel, these panels are all I think they're about 11 by 16, I think they're about 11 by 7 feet. And there are 11 panels altogether. And the first panel is the sky, basically taken from that site at 6:30, and then the sun goes down and the stars come out. And the location of the sun and the stars are based on star maps that you can get for a particular date. So I used the star maps based on the date of the opening of the new Yankee Stadium, give or take obviously a couple of days, because at the time I was designing it, it was impossible to know when it would actually open. But I was pretty close. And the cloud formations are actual clouds that I photographed from the site in 15-minute increments, and then I put the whole thing together on the computer and then changed it with watercolor and sent the designs off to Franz Meyer of Munich, who produced the mosaic. And so here we go. And the idea was that you would walk. Most people would arrive for a game around 6:30, and so you would then walk towards the stadium, and that way you would get to see the stars come out, as if from the other side. And of course, the kind of stars that you get to see at the end are the kind of stars that you would get to see if you were in some incredibly beautiful, pristine mountaintop. Certainly you would never ever see this in Manhattan. So I thought, the payoff is that you get to see the stars in the way that you'll never ever get to see them in the city. There are over 400 stars. It was incredibly labor-intensive mosaic to produce. So in both cases, I have to say it was an incredibly thrilling experience to get to be part of the fabric of the city, and was something that really, in some ways, changed the way I work. It made me think about making other larger projects, about making other sort of more permanent things, and also really made me think about how different it is to work with different audiences. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of pleasure to be had in working in a public situation where, in some ways, you create something that people will use, that they'll walk past, and that maybe, if you're lucky, years from now, somebody will say, well, I kissed my wife for the first time next to that thing, or, I remember walking past it all the time and eating sandwiches there. That you'll be part of somebody's memory of the city, and that's sort of an incredible thing to get to be part of. And that was in a way was one of the things I always really wanted to be able to do as an artist, was to make work that people would remember. And the opportunity to do it in in the transit system has been, really an incredible one from my perspective.